The good times keep getting gooder because Adam Carolla is coming to your town August 29th in Provo, Utah at Dry Bar. Torrance, California, Sunday, August 31st, 2 shows at Mom Said Yes. Yes, that's the name of the venue, Mom Said Yes. And September 6th in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 shows at the Comedy Zone. Coming up in September, El Paso, Albuquerque, Flagstaff, and more. Get your tickets for all these incredible shows at adamcarolla.com. And now, he's not really a mourning person, and that he really didn't mourn his parents dying. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice. We're going to minute to get it on. Avi Liberman is back in studio. He's got a book out called Strange Gigs, available now on Amazon. And it's all the different and bizarre places you've played over the years as a stand-up.
Craziness, 30 years of doing stranger gigs all over the world. Yeah, not only the U.S., but Iraq, Afghanistan, the tour I do in Israel, all the fun stuff, cruise ships, Vegas, anything and everything you can imagine.
Well, it'd be a good idea, I guess, to talk about the stranger gigs for you.
There's no shortage. Strange doesn't mean bad, by the way. Stranger gigs. It's I'd say some of the more meaningful experiences I've had have been. Everybody thinks, if you're a comic, it's always some great club with, as you well know, that's not always the case. Mm-hmm. And some of the more meaningful ones, like the shows I did in Iraq and Afghanistan, those are probably some of the more meaningful gigs I've ever done.
Who was the audience in Iraq and Afghanistan?
The first one I did Afghanistan, the first base, I would say mostly Marines, and then we would shift depending on the base, became like Army, different branches. I did that with Butch Bradley, who's like a lunatic himself, and I mean that in the most positive of ways. But first show we did was, they spread out some chairs, and Butch goes, anybody? We're like in a rec center. We're going to do a show if you guys want to come and sit down. They're like, yeah, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. I think just any taste of home, these guys were. But the most meaningful show, just to this day, I still remember, we became friendly with a pilot out there who worked for Blackwater. Mm-hmm. And we bump into him in one of the bases in the middle of the tour, and he goes, I'm making a mail run to Farah. It's this like base on the Iranian border. Do you want to come? We're like, all right. And we land, and it was a special forces compound. And these guys look at us, who are these two? And Butch jumps in and goes, we're comics, we'll do a show for you if you want. And he gets this look on his face, and he goes, 1 second, and he radios in and calls us over, and they call it these 12 guys, and these are the guys, dressed like plain clothes, special operations guys, and they set up some chairs and a couch, threw us a broomstick, and go, here's your mic. And the lead pilot's like, I got to go in 10 minutes. He goes, we'll do 5 minutes each. And we did that. They laughed, we laughed. They thanked us, we thanked them. I wouldn't trade that experience for any TV appearance. That was one of the more meaningful ones I've done.
Yeah. I guess at the end of the day, that's all you really have are those experiences, those stories. Yeah. And you can do another night at the Improv or the Laugh Factory, but it's not going to fall under the heading of a story, good or bad.
Yeah, you remember, I think, and I'm sure you've been through this, where like you get off stage and people come up to you, and the compliments and stuff, but there are a few that stick out, and when it's really meaningful like that, I talk about this in the book. One guy after a show in Iraq, that show was with the late great Scott Kennedy, who passed away, used to run these shows, and it was me and Eddie Gosling, and we did the show, and a guy comes up to us, very matter of fact, and he goes, "Congratulations, you just saved some lives today." And we're like, "What are you talking about? Like, that's what you guys do." And he's like, "You don't get it, do you?" We're like, "Clearly we didn't." And he's like, research shows that soldiers' reactions time are that much quicker, a split second when they're in better moods.
Oh, really?
So and I was like, who knows? But it was nice of him to say, like it's a little much to take in, but things like that, or like the tour I do in Israel for the Kobe Mandel Foundation. Some girl comes up to me, the first tour we ever did there, and she goes, I just wanted to thank you. I haven't had anything to laugh about in over a year. Turns around, walks away. It's like, those, I remember those. I don't remember the good or the bad comments after like a regular show. An audience will come up to you and say things, whatever it may be. But those things I remember. The hell gigs, that's certain chapters I have in my book. that's one of them. Those are fun. When you're learning, you're coming up and it's going to be an awful gig, but the comics will say, no, just go do it. It'll be good for you. Because not every show is the Improv, the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store in an ideal situation. So,
well, what are some of the worst?
One of the worst ones that I ever had, I mentioned this in the book, but it was oddly enough for the military, but we knew it going in. Terry Mulroy was a very successful writer and comic. He goes, I'm going to send you, Avi. I was doing comedy for 5 minutes at this point in my career. Take you and two of your buddies. It's at Camp Pendleton in San Diego. We show up, and he said, this is going to be tough, but it'll be good for you guys. We show up, and all these Marines just hammered. They're just hammered, and they're dancing with like local girls, and we walk in naive. I started, first place I ever went on was the Laugh Factory. So I'm thinking, I guess that's normal comedy. We walk in, like, yeah, where's the club? And they're like, you're in it. And all of a sudden they start saying, everybody sit down, we have a comedy show. Sure, sir, yes, sir. And they sit down and they're hooting and hollering and screaming. And we were like, the three of us were frightened. Like, how are we going to get through this? And we even asked her, like, aren't these guys like 18, 19? How are they allowed to drink? Like, well, on the base, we allow it because otherwise they're going to go into TJ, Tijuana, and get hammered. And at least here we can watch them. Right. I'm like, well, that doesn't make me feel any better. It was just a mess, but it was. We did get through it alive, so it was fun.
Yeah, it is interesting when people try to shoehorn comedy into spaces it probably wouldn't exist in.
Yes.
And also people have a weird sort of relationship with time in comedy, I've found. Like, there'll be some corporate gig, and it'll be at 9 a.m. in Houston for the Asphalt Convention, and the guy will go, just do 45 minutes, maybe. And I'll go, you don't understand how long that is in this environment.
I mentioned that in the book where I said the first time I ever went on stage was an open mic at the Laugh Factory, and you would get 3 minutes.
Right.
You'd say, really? That's it? I go, count to 10 in your head with just silence, and you tell me how long that is.
Well, look, it's funny. Yes, open mic is 3 minutes, and a boxing round is 3 minutes. Yeah. And if you got into the ring with Mike Tyson in 1989, 3 minutes would be enough to figure out
60 seconds would be
who could do this, right, and who couldn't do it. All I'm saying is it would feel like a long time. One round.
Oh, yeah.
With that. And when you're a horrible comedian, 3 minutes feels like a long time when you're in the audience.
It's an eternity. Yeah, it's...
You did the open mics at the Improv out here?
Yeah, I would say more
the
at
Hollywood
the Laugh
Improv?
Factory. Yeah, the Improv was very good to me when I started. That's where I began to sort of hang out more. I'd say that was where I kind of grew up as a comic.
Melrose Improv.
Yeah, the one on Melrose.
So, wait a minute. You start at what age over there?
I moved out here right after college. I think I was 22.
So you and I are about the same age. So my recollection of the Improv open mic. So I did not exclusively. I did almost nothing but open mics, but I got a couple of weird gigs that paid or something. But I was pretty much open micer. And then I kind of realized that I don't think stand-up's my calling. And then I went and did sketch comedy, and I did sketch for a long time. And then sketch wasn't really my calling, but sketch kind of gave way to radio, and then radio was my calling. And then radio kind of gave way to TV, and then that's all I did for a long time, and then circled back to stand-up later on in life. So all I had was open mics. And I remember the open mic at the Improv on Melrose.
What year was this? This is like early 90s?
No, this is probably later 80s.
Okay, so sure, because you grew up out here.
Yeah, so my recollection of that would have been it was Sunday night, and it started pretty early, like 5 or something.
Right, it's always horrendous,
and you would go there, first off, find a place to park, which is always brutal in that neighborhood, because they literally, I'm not dyslexic, but I can't read, and my comprehension is bad. And I would literally stand under those signs that had 3 or 4 signs on one side, and I'd just stare at it and go, I have a permit 27B. I could park here 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., so that's overnight. But there's 2-hour parking before 6 p.m. But I was so paranoid, insane. But I just stared at this. Then you'd park, and then you'd go in, and you'd write your name on a little piece of paper, and they put it in a hat, maybe a top hat. And the guy who ran the thing was not a jovial, supportive fella.
They don't want to be there. I mean, for me, it was the Laugh Factory was the first place I ever went up, and there you'd have to get up, and they would take the first 20 people that showed up. This is like 94.
Yes.
And the first time I went, I think signups were at 6, and I said, I'm going to show up at 3 o'clock to show how dedicated I am.
Right.
I was not even close to getting a spot. People would show up at like noon and wait there all day in lawn chairs.
Crazy.
To get 3 minutes. And then the Comedy Store was more names out of the hat, out of the bucket.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to show up and wait all day.
Improv was names. Yeah, the Improv was names out of a hat.
Yeah,
and they picked the first, 15 or 20 names.
By the time I started, they didn't even have that. The Improv was more like, we're above the open mic situations now.
Uh-huh.
And because they were they had a lot of great,
Wait, didn't you say you started the Improv with open mics?
The first place I ever went on stage was the Laugh Factory. And I continued to go on there more consistently, I'd say. And the Improv, I would say, was the club I grew up at more. But I would hang out there
no
more.
open mics there.
Yeah, no open mic. But the Comedy Store, I would go open mics. The store would put me on. I was never regular there. Still am not. But if I was doing something for TV, they were kind of nice to me. Then they'd throw me on and let me practice. But that was about it.
The Laugh Factory, I remember. So there was a place called the Deli Smoker, which is like on Ventura and Sherman Oaks. There was those places everywhere.
Yeah, there's always awful like one night, small clubs.
But the Laugh Factory, I only remember trying that place once, and I was one of the 20. It probably got there 2 p.m. Waited. It was number 8. It was like number 18 or something.
Yeah.
And so I was there at 2, and the show starts at 8 that night. And it's now, 7:45, and I've been there the entire day waiting to do 3 minutes.
Right.
And right before I get on stage, Pauly Shore, who's kind of at the height of his powers at that point, literally comes walking in with a notebook.
And that's when you see a comic, if somebody's
holding a notebook.
That's always
and he's like, hey, buddy, and they're like, oh, you want to go up? And he's like, yeah, I want to go up and try a few things out. And they're like, oh, okay, go next. And I'm like, well, I'm going next. And I've been here since 2, And
right,
he's like,
they don't care.
No, get up. We got Pauly Shore in the house, So he walks up at, 7:51 or something. I'm supposed to do. They're closing it at 8 to do the show,
right.
And he just walks up and he's got his notepad out. And he's like, hey, what's going on with Sammy Hagar? Look,
and he does an hour.
Which man, was it Van Halen or Van Layman? Okay, and it's like writing on his notebook, and like he does like 18 minutes, and then he's done, and they're like, "All right, we're starting the show. We're starting at 8 o'clock," and I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?"
The Comedy Stories have what they call pop-ins, so
yes.
You could be on the list, and if a regular or someone at the club shows up, you're stuck, and you might be, 9th or 10th on the list, and then you're on at 1 a.m, but that goes back.
Let me tell you something. There's 2 things I can do now, and I don't feel comfortable with either one. One is the Disneyland where you get the guide and go to the front of the line.
Right, because you're a big enough deal where you can do that.
I can pay for that.
Right.
And I also can pop in.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't want to pop in because there's other people waiting all day to go on stage. I feel weird popping in. And they go, you can do that, though. And I go, I can go in front in Disneyland, too, but it feels weird to walk in front of everybody.
Guys. I've seen that once. They'll both remain nameless. But 2 guys that were both kind of famous, and one was kind of ascending and one was descending, but I would say they were about even.
Mm-hmm.
And they're used to walking in and bumping whoever they want. And this guy walked in, but this guy was on the schedule, and the 2 of them kind of went at it outside.
Uh-huh.
And I remember seeing the manager of the Improv having to deal with this. I couldn't hear it, but he's having to. And I said, what was that like? He's like, just a couple of egos going at it. Because when that becomes normal for you, I remember I had a spot at the comic strip in New York City, and there was a great crowd. And my friend Ray Allen, who's like a great MC, was emceeing it, and they were phenomenal. And in walks Chris Rock, and he's got a notebook, which means they're practicing for a special, whatever. And I had just gotten off stage, and I remember thinking to myself, and they were a phenomenal crowd to begin with. I was like, thank God I'm done. Number one, who wants to follow this? Number 2, he's going to be up there working on which is fair. He's working on a special, but who the hell wants to follow this? And he's going to be up there for 35, 40 minutes.
Right.
And have fun following this, I was like, oh, what a relief that, it's, I was like the Comedy Cellar in New York has to deal with that. You have a lot of famous guys popping in. And
right.
The only guy I ever saw who really felt, Ray Romano comes in. If you have some time for me, it's okay. But if not, I don't want to bump. He was so gracious.
I'm so Ray Romano.
Yeah, he was so gracious about it.
Homes.com. That's homes.com. Some might say homes.com is the best home shopping site. It may be homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Or perhaps, just perhaps, it's because homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each home in each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. Homes.com. That's homes.com. We've done your homework.
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Summer of Cinema is here. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Mission Impossible, Beverly Hills Cop, Good Burger, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Bring the action with you and stream for free from all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
I had a flashback the other day. I don't know why, but talking about like bad gigs. But we were talking about the Improv and back in the day. I was just thinking about this the other day for some reason. But there was a charity event at the Improv many years ago, and I got recruited to be involved with this star-studded celebrity charity, something animals or something, and
right.
So. I wasn't a stand-up, so, other guys, Kevin Nealon's going to do 8 minutes, and then this guy's
Right.
going to do 10 minutes, and then I didn't really have any minutes to do. I was just a personality, So we figured out that, what would be fun? It'd be fun if me and Bill Maher we did Loveline, and Bill Maher would be Dr. Drew, and I would be me, and we'd get up there and do 10 minutes, maybe 15. And so I got to the show, and every A-list comedian who was sort of at the top of the game was just doing a tight 10 minutes, and they're all crushing it because it was all their best stuff.
Right.
And they knew what they were doing. It was like 10 minutes. And I was kind of watching everyone, and I was kind of like, Bill, you and I are just going to walk out on stage, and we don't really have a thing to do. And it's, I'm sorry about that. It's going to slow things down. It's going to feel weird. We haven't really worked out what we're doing here. And he goes, yeah, all right. Well, I guess we should work that out. Because stand-up was very precise and rhythmic, and everyone was
Right.
crushing it doing 10 minutes.
Sometimes that change of energy can be a good thing,
Yeah.
It mixes it up.
I wasn't counting on it being a good thing because we didn't know what we were doing. We're just going to go up on
Right.
stage, and I don't know, you're going to be Dr. Drew, and I was going to be me. So I go, Bill, don't you think you and I should just kind of talk for a minute and kind of go through the beats of what this is and like what it is we're doing up there? And he goes, yeah, all right, we should probably work this out. We're going up in 15 minutes or something. He goes, why don't we just go out front? We'll go outside where it's quiet. We'll just try to hammer out a couple beats here, and then we'll get up and do this. I said, yeah, okay. So we walk outside the Improv. We turn left, we go down Melrose a little, and we get to like this side corner. And I go, all right, so what do you have in mind? How do you want to do this? And he just pulls a joint out, and he smokes half a joint. We don't talk about
Classic
anything we're
Bill Maher,
doing.
yeah.
He just smokes half a joint, then he puts it out, and he goes, all right, let's go do this. And I go, well, hold on a second.
Glad we've gone over this.
Not only did we not work anything out, but now you're fucking baked.
Right.
And we haven't worked anything out. And now we're heading, he's like, you want to get back in? Nealon's going to be off stage in 2 minutes. And now I'm brimming with confidence.
Yeah, it's. How did it go, by the way?
It was like out of a sitcom where I started at the beginning and it was like, this is going to be rough. You know what I mean? And then by the time we got to the middle with singing, by the time we got to the end, we were crushing it.
Yeah, it's
So
fine.
it was
Easy to
fine.
work
It
out
just, that was my improv
The
recollection.
Improv was always interesting to me because the regular show would end, and whoever was managing would make like an ad hoc list of comics that were hanging around who wants to go up. So you could get on there almost every night if you hung out. And back in the day, this is when Bud Freeman, God rest his soul, and Mark Lano owned it. And they would say, I remember what gravitated me more towards that club. I remember Mark like screaming at one of the managers outside going, I don't care if there are 5 people left in the crowd. If there are comics here, put them up. That's the only way they're going to learn. And I went, oh, that's nice to hear.
Right.
And I was like, this is the place where I'm going to invest my time. And I could get up, and that's where and then they began to give me like the Sunday night 8:15, 8:10 spot was mine for a while. Mm-hmm. And I developed there. And then it's the first full week on the road, quote unquote, that I ever did was Vegas. So I come back, I'm like, the road is great. What do you guys say? Like, shut up, Lieberman. Just like, it's before I worked, Idaho and, and Indiana and really pounding the road for a summer. I was like, the road is easy. What's the problem? I knew I was just being obnoxious, but the road is hard, but you get better on it. So that's, I wanted those difficult experiences to, help groom you. So when you do an improv or a Laugh Factory comedy store, you're like, this is what a pleasure. You have the lighting is right, the sound is right, the audience is seated right, and because usually they're not.
Where do you think we are right now with comedy, stand-up comedy, if you were to kind of chart it? Because we all know there are good years, there's bad years.
Yeah. I'd say, not to sound too much like the guy with the get off my lawn, but I'd say there are 2 things that at least I've seen in other cities that I think have slowed the progression of comics coming up. Crowd work and roasts. Those 2 things, and I have no problem with either one of them. But it used to be when I was coming up, and when you're like, if someone started doing crowd work, it was almost a running gag, like out of material. We joke about it. But when we were doing it, if you were talking to the crowd, it was to get to the next joke that you've got. Like I'd ask a question, and I was like, if he says this, I've got a joke for that, and if he says this, I've got a joke for that. It was almost, you were writing jokes for the response.
Right.
And nowadays, it's just people will come out and, hey, what's going on? I just like. I've seen this. It's more out of LA where I've seen that, where it's MCs will go on and just talk to the audience. I just like, can you do one joke? That's why I like Anthony Jeselnik, for example, because Jeselnik won't do crowd work at all. It's just like, I'm just going to do the jokes, and if it's slower, it takes more time, too bad. And it's like, I admire that in a sense. I think that should be more of the, the lesson learned coming up. Yeah, I get it. Writing jokes sucks. It's hard. It takes a long time, and to really get it right can be a huge pain in the ass, but and I have no problem talking to the crowd. I have no problem with people who do it. It's just I think there should be enough material there to compensate it.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of that. I've seen less of it, I should say, because crowd work can vulture your career, and I get it. You have one organic moment that can become a big deal, and it's social media. It's changed it. It's changed it. So that's what I've seen. Also, the progression when I was coming up, I feel worse. It's got to be much harder for comics today because there's just so many of them. And it just, something might go viral and you just don't know what's going to hit. But when I was coming up, there was kind of this natural progression, like, you kick it in the ass as much as you can on the road. You come back here, you'll get something on cable, hopefully. And then the next stage was, either a Ferguson, a Conan, or a Kimmel or something like that. And then you would gun for the Tonight Show or a Letterman. That was kind of the standard. You get like something on Comedy Central. They were great about giving comics a chance. And that's kind of all changed. That's like, it's very different now. But that was sort of the natural progression. For me, that's kind of what I did. And I talked to the comics that knew more than me. And they told me, don't shoot for getting anything late night until you have 2 sets to go, not 1. Because if you do 1, you're going to blow your wad on that. And if it goes well, they're going to ask you back. And you don't want to seem like, you're not, well, now what?
Right.
So I had already outlined my second set when I did Ferguson was the first network TV I did. And I did it, and thank God it went well. And I get off stage, off the set, and she walks right up to me, the woman who booked, and she's like, where are you in 6 months, 7, and I was ready to go. And I began immediately working on the third one. And then after I did it the third time, I thought that was kind of enough. Let's gun for Letterman. And then retiring, and there went that. And then that's when social media just began to become like a bigger thing.
And you say, my feeling with crowd work that I'll see, I don't know, at the Laugh Factory on a Thursday night, and everyone's doing 15 minutes, and someone just gets up there and they go, where are you from? And they start, right. and I'm sort of like, don't you want to take this real precious time and work on stuff that, like,
yeah.
I feel like you should be
I think it depends on where
stuff.
you are in your career. So I still feel like, because I'm not a big enough deal, I feel like I have to do well. Like, I'm going to go on there and I want to do what I know works. And maybe I'll sneak in one of the new ones here and there in the middle. But that's where I'm like, I need to do well there. If you're Chris Rock, he's using that to practice. He needs to do well at the special.
No, he does.
But he's,
I agree, but he's not doing crowd work either because he's working on something. Like I just feel like you should always kind of be working on something.
Of course, yeah. But if you're good at crowd, there are people who are phenomenal at it, and I don't mind. I really don't. It's, like Jimmy Brogan, for example, is great at crowd work, but he doesn't have to do that. He has really good jokes if he wants to do it. Yeah, so,
I would probably say that I'm good at crowd work just because I'm good improvisationally, but I don't want to work on it because it's not really something to work on.
Right.
To me, it's like invisible. You could do it or you can't do it.
Any comic who's been doing this long enough can pull that off, but it's to write really good jokes is something I think any comic is more proud of. So
I agree. I'm just saying my get off the lawn kind of age thing is like, you're up there for 15 minutes, work on stuff.
Right, absolutely.
And crowd work is kind of invisible.
Yeah.
So then you said roasting.
Yeah.
Now, how does that factor in?
I think because you watch someone like, all right, let's take the best of the best, like a Jeff Ross, who's great at doing this. Mm-hmm. It's, but again, it's Jeff. Jeff kind of looks how he looks, like so he can get away with it, you know what I mean? It's and I think it's a lot of comics, especially young ones, will look at this and go, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, if you're not that kind of comic, if you're not an abrasive type of, that's not your style. That doesn't mean that's what you need to do. But you watch, I think if you're 22 years old and seeing how roasts and things like that can vault someone's career, it's enticing to go, oh, maybe that's what I should do, and all those kinds of things. So I think but you need to stay in your lane. And if it's not your lane, don't worry about it. Like, if you're kind of the happy fun guy or it's not your style, that doesn't mean you need to, like, have this arsenal of jokes ready to just insult somebody. So those are things that I think of sort of, I've just seen it a bit that even when people are doing crowd work, they'll be more abrasive about it. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean, that's what you got to do. But those two things I think of.
So you're saying that young comedians see what's working and try to emulate it versus sort of working their own persona out.
Yeah. I was guilty of it too. Look, I mean,
everyone is guilty of everything. Everybody's ever been in a great rock band started by covering some songs from bands they liked when they were 14, because that's what you do, and then eventually you start writing your own music. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of had to realize, I talk about this in the book, over the years, I was like, I used to shy away from doing any, like, Jewish material because my name is so Jewish, and I wouldn't do any of it. Mm-hmm. Then I got a call, Avi, they want to see the Montreal Comedy Festival for the Bar Mitzvah show. Do all your Jewish stuff. And this is my own fucking agent telling me. I was like, I don't really have it. And I realized if my own agent views me that way, I might as well embrace it. And then all of a sudden, I became the Israel guy. Like, I'm the guy who does the tours in Israel twice a year and been able to bring these comics. So that's kind of what I'm noted as, because I embraced who I was. It's just stupid. I'm not going to run away from who I am. This is silly. So, and then everything got better. The secular comedy got better. Everything got better once I just began to be more of myself. So, and that's kind of become, if you were to ask, he's the Israel guy. Like, and that's, that became the thing. So.
Yeah, I agree with your initial impulse. I've always had maybe I'm just jealous, but whenever I see comedians and it's the fat guy who's doing all the buffet humor or the single lady who's like, can we talk, ladies, who's single out here, or the black guy doing the black stuff or whatever that thing is.
Right.
I've always kind of went, well, you got to, I guess you have to kind of discuss who you are, or if people are looking at you and you look weird or you look different or something, it needs to be addressed. But at a certain point when that just becomes your act, then
that shouldn't be everything.
No, it bothers me a little bit. I also feel like...
Oh, you're justified in that. You're right. Now, I asked, there's a friend of mine, and all he does are, like, Jewish events. And I said, what happens if you get a phone call? If I call you, hey, you want to do Vegas for me? With me? Let's, what's he going to do? Like, he couldn't do it. It's very important. Without that, let's say you're doing more alternative-y stuff. I came up during the alternative rage when that was like, Garofalo and this and all, like, during that era. And I would see comics that would just try to do that kind of humor, like, not punchline oriented comedy. But I was like, but all the guys that are really good at it, the Patton Oswalds and the Garofalo's and the Dave Crosses, they have regular material that can make regular people laugh.
Right.
They're choosing not to do it, but they're perfectly capable of doing that. So I feel kind of the nicest compliment I ever got, Chris Spencer, who's a great comic, and he told me once somebody
From
was like,
Vibe.
Yeah, Chris is great. And I had him on my original tour. He crushed. And he said, so he was like, oh, Avi, can you do this? And he looked at me and he goes, Avi's like a utility comic. Just throw him in there. He'll figure it out. Black Room, Alternative, Vegas, whatever. He'll don't worry about it. Because I was put through the ringer. Like you figure it out, buddy, or you're gonna, you're not gonna know what's going on.
I was trying to figure out where Dave Cross was the other day, which doesn't mean he's not everywhere or somewhere.
We're working on something.
I just went, where's Dave Cross?
Yeah,
and I just had this thought, and I was like, where is he? Is he doing a TV show? Is he writing on something? Like, is he semi-retired? Like, getting to the age where it's like, well, yeah, you can start to peel it back a little bit.
Yeah, I think he can do what he wants. He was one of the few guys I saw that I would see him destroy in alternative venues and mainstream if he felt like it. But if he wasn't, even when he was goofing around and at the Improv or something, it was still funny for everybody else.
There are other guys that are just sort of ubiquitous and they're out there and you know what they're doing all the time.
Right.
David Cross is on tour right now doing theaters.
There you go.
All right. Well, there you go.
He's got his following.
Yeah, I just haven't seen him pop up places that I normally would see. But on the other hand, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah.
I watch UFC fights.
Right.
So unless
there are
he's getting
800
in the
platforms
octagon.
now. It's hard to... A lot of comics that are massive, and I may not know their stuff. Yeah, just you have so many platforms now.
Oh, they're getting to be like those Korean bands or something where it's they're doing what? They're selling out Dodger Stadium for a third night.
And I'm who is that?
I have no idea what this is.
Actually, a manager just told me, Ryan Hamilton's a great comic. So he said, his manager was telling me, Peter Resnick was a great guy. He goes, I call one of these clubs and let's just get some dates on the books for Ryan. How about this one? He goes, oh, that doesn't work. I have some YouTube stars coming in.
Right.
And he goes, are they funny? He goes, no, they're awful.
Right.
He goes, really? He goes, look, they have a following, they sell out, and I got to sell drinks and tickets. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get it, but it's just that's what it's... People will make that mistake, too. I've had to deal with that. They're like, what about this guy? He's great on Instagram. An Instagram sketch is not stand-up.
Right.
And a lot of people don't get that. I understand it's funny as a sketch or it's funny as this or he's good at this, but that doesn't mean he can go on stage and hold an audience's attention for half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever. And that's people who are not in comedy, often the lines can get blurred, understandably so. But that's another thing that I think we deal with now.
Alicia Krause is here. She's got the news. I was going to hang out and we'll do the news with Alicia Krause right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah, that's the jingle. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. So, I don't know, modern cars. Some people don't wrench on modern cars, but a lot of you have a project. And a lot of you have older cars you drive, and you want to keep on the road because cars are expensive these days. Well, that's where O'Reilly Auto Parts comes in. Friendly, helpful service, and the parts knowledge you need for the maintenance and repair of your vehicle. I've always used these guys. I've used them in all my old pickup trucks and even my old Isuzu Trooper to some of my Z cars and other Datsuns, race cars too. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Summer of Cinema is here. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Mission Impossible, Beverly Hills Cop, Good Burger, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Bring the action with you and stream for free from all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
As a comedian, we do travel a lot. I've been getting a lot of travel advice, especially now that I live in Los Angeles. All my friends in LA, here's what they're telling me now. Fly in and out of Burbank Airport. So much more convenient if you fly out of Burbank. The problem is you can't get a direct flight out of Burbank to anywhere. Last time I flew out of Burbank, we stopped at LAX. I'm like, this isn't convenient at all. This is absurd.
Avi Liberman is on the Adam Carolla Show.
I just heard off the air that Avi does a Mark Levin impersonation.
Let's hear it.
That Ami Horowitz was.
Ami was having dinner with him, and he called me beforehand and goes, I want you to call me back, leave the voicemail, and I'm going to play it for him at dinner. And I'm like, am I going to get in trouble? He goes, no, he'll like it. And so he played it for him, and he said his wife lost her shit laughing, and he was less amused, but still thought it was fine.
Mark's a serious guy.
Very serious. Here's my impression. Mark, there's no middle ground with him. My take is that it's 0 to 100.
1,000.
Yeah, it's like, here's my Levin. He's like, these people, they have not read the Constitution, because if they did, they'd have a stroke. And if you look at articles, you know what? I'm not going to read it. You read it. These morons. That's right, I said it. Morons. Obama, Pelosi, they have no interest in the law. These people, like, it's just hot, it's...
You got to work in some Mr. Producer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know something else, Mr.
Good old
Producer?
Rich.
Yeah, I had that. Yeah, I just didn't go along with it. You know something else, Mr. Producer?
I felt really old because I've known Mark and Rich for almost 20 years. 22 years. God.
Rich is a producer?
Rich is Mr.
I never knew who it was.
See?
This is Mr. Producer.
He has a name. I was at his wedding. Like, he posted a photo the other day of them in the Oval Office with Trump. And I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
He has gray hair now.
Yeah, he was a constitutional attorney living under the Reagan administration.
yeah.
Like, he's been around forever.
He's been around forever.
Mark,
He's so freaking smart.
Yeah, he knows more than everybody.
Yeah,
says.
Mark's on Fox. He's syndicated radio. But that was dead nuts on Mark and funny.
Oh, thank you.
I had this vague recollection of him 20 years ago. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, it's probably 20 years ago. Maybe a little less. And he was a huge Crank Yankers fan. For some weird reason, that was a puppet show I did.
Yeah, I remember it.
And he loved that show. And so somebody said, well, he wants you to call in or wants to talk to you.
It's amazing.
About Crank Yankers, the puppet show. And so I said, oh, okay, I'll call in. And I called in, and he didn't seem to like the show, and he was sort of angry about the show, and then he had some thoughts about the show, and then I remember thinking, I was sort of confused. Like, I thought he liked the show, but he seems
he's a very serious guy. Yeah.
about the show, and then I when I hung up, I was just confused. I was just confused. Like, I thought he was a big fan. And sometimes I think the producer or somebody's a big fan, but the host isn't. But they try to book you because they're big fans.
Yeah. Or they think it'll be good for ratings.
Well, that's why I checked with Ami. I was like, is he going to hate my guts? If he goes, no, he'll like it. But his wife liked it. But he was like, he smirked. I thought that was enough.
I have to say, he's a big teddy bear. Like, he's a teddy bear.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. Mommy says he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, every time he's met my kids, they just go straight to him. He has that grandpa energy in real life.
And Ami's a good dude, so he's breaking bread with him, even if it's unleavened.
Yeah.
I will trust his instinct.
Yeah, he said he liked it. That's what he said. He said he laughed at it.
I had another weird, you get old and you have these weird flashbacks of stuff from shows you did and guests and spots and weird and stuff. I sort of remember the weird stuff. Like, I remember Mark Levin being a huge Crank Yankers fan and then not really liking Crank Yankers and then be hanging the phone up with him and going, I don't think he likes this show, but also felt weird about it. I had this flashback to Man Cow, who's a big radio
guy. We met him in
Really?
Israel on one of our tours.
You met Man Cow.
Is he still on the air? He's from Chicago, right?
This is a good
Midwest
question.
guy,
So Man Cow was a big radio guy back when there was big radio guys and the terrestrial radio guys.
Like Bob and Tom type of era.
Yeah.
Level,
Yeah, it's just some guys that had territory. They were like Midwest guys.
He
and
was
this
the
guy's-
Chicago guy. For
Grover's
sure.
Grover Cleveland. Wait a minute, that's why his name is Grover. Cleveland was his
Back
area.
then even,
And so they had guys, Opie and Anthony and
Right.
New York, Howard Stern and all that kind of stuff. You had like a territory and you were that guy. I was in L.A., Loveline or Kevin and Bean or something like that, K-Rock.
Like Bill Handel.
Bill Handel.
Like, every region has their people.
Right.
Right. So Mancow's off traditional radio since 2020. But I remember, so my background was I did radio and I liked radio. And I came up with Kimmel, and Kimmel did radio and he really liked radio. And radio is kind of a thing where some people are in a hurry to get off a radio and onto TV, or they use it as a stepping stone or whatever it is. But like, then there are people that are like kind of purists, like they like radio. They grew up listening, and they had their favorites growing up, and they dig radio. And like Howard Stern likes broadcasting, likes radio, and Jimmy liked radio, and I really liked radio. So I did radio the whole time I did the Man Show and MTV and Crank Yankee. I was on TV every day, but I would do radio at night because I wanted to. I liked it. And people, if a radio show host asked me to come on, I would almost certainly say yes because I liked radio. And Mancow wasn't exactly a householding name for me growing up in L.A., but I understood he was a popular radio guy. And like Mark Levin, it's like, you want me on? Yeah, we'll try to make this happen. And so they said, well, Mancow wants you on his show, but he's in Chicago and there's a time difference and, it's 2 hours and you got to get up pretty early. And I would come home from Loveline at 12:30 at night and to call into Mancow's show, I had to call in at I had to set my alarm for 6 a.m. or something. So I went to bed at, I'd go to bed at 1:30 or 2 because I got home at 12:30 every night. And then I set my alarm for 6 a.m. and I call in Mancow. And he puts me on hold. And then I sit on hold for 20 minutes.
Oh, no bueno.
At 6 in the morning.
That's a producer fail right there.
Well, maybe. Now, I'm doing the Man Show. I'm doing Loveline on MTV. I'm doing Loveline TV, radio, syndicated. I don't need to get up and call Man Cow Show, but I just do it because I like radio, and also I like...
You knew who he was.
Yeah, for me, it wouldn't matter. I'm just listen, radio brethren, I've not outgrown you just because I'm in Hollywood and I'm on MTV and Comedy Central. I'll call into anyone's show.
Fan of radio wants to help dude on radio.
Yeah, I do it. I do it now. I'm fine. I'm gonna call into Tim Conway Jr. show in a few days because I like Tim and I like radio and why not? I don't care.
We first met when I was doing radio.
Oh, right.
Back
At the
in the
morning
day.
answer, right?
Yeah.
So I call in, I get put on hold for I don't know, half an hour.
That's insane.
Something. And then I go, then they come on at the end. They go, so sorry. We're break, late, ran over, whatever. We're out of time. The show's over, blah, blah, blah. And, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. Mix up, whatever. Can we try this again tomorrow? And because I'm me, everyone thinks I'm an asshole, but I'm I'm not. I'm okay, I'll set my alarm tomorrow at 6 a.m. again, and I'll get up again, and I'll
stop.
Whatever.
Did?
Because I thought there was a mix-up or some confusion, and they were so sorry, and blah, blah, blah. My recollection is I did it the next morning, sat on hold for a half hour again, never picked up, right? So then...
And they didn't have you on for the second time again.
No, that was that. And I said, all right,
gosh.
All right, no more of that.
Rude.
Thanks, whatever. Then later on, I ran into and worked with Angie, who was his producer, and I said, or something, worked on his show. And I said to her at the time, I called in years ago, and I just sat there and she goes, oh yeah, that was a game he'd play to see if he could get celebrities to just sit there.
Seriously?
And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I had no thoughts about it until like 2 days ago. I was driving and I just went, oh my God, what a douchebag.
Yeah,
like
that's
that makes you
kind of
the
a jerk thing
biggest
to do.
asshole douchebag in the world because I had to fucking get up
Yeah.
at 6 in the
That's
morning. And
horrible.
also, what a douche. And it was just some sort of weird ego
If you do
stroke
that, yeah,
thing or
on
something.
purpose,
I
maliciously,
made
that's
Adam
not good.
Carolla wait for a half hour and then they're picked up or whatever. And
Way to
That's
burn a
insane.
bridge.
I just
too.
thought I could sooner set a homeless guy on fire than I
Right.
could do that to somebody.
Right.
Like I could never fucking
Especially
do that.
that early in the morning if they know you're 2 hours
I
behind.
know. So
I
anyway,
mean, so look, the first time I ever did network TV, it was Ferguson, and you don't know this at home, but they plug you in later.
Mm-hmm.
As they'd edit you in a different night.
Yeah.
So I'm in
Oh,
New
a
York,
different night.
and I'm in New York City, and I was at the Cellar, and friends went, "Oh, you want to go?" There was this part. I go, I'm about to be on network TV for the first time in my life. Let me stick around. And they're nice. They'll put the TVs on for at the Improv if you were on, they'd put them on and everything. And I'm sitting, I'm looking at my watch, going in the commercial break. I'm like, something is wrong here, and all of a sudden, Ferguson comes out. My apologies, Avi Liberman. We ran long. We'll have you back. I'm just like, I taped this 5 days ago. How is this not edited?
Wow.
Like, even there, you never know it. But the difference is, I got back and there's an email from them going, "We're so sorry. We just had a square bit." And I was on like a day or two later. So, but like they made an effort there. Like,
I have
they
to
weren't
say-
being malicious about it. Like that's
Do you guys know Alex Michelson? He was like at Fox 5 here for a really
Yes.
long time. His mom, like if you're ever on his show, his mom would make brownies and cookies. Like,
Yes, yeah.
And it was
Sweet.
so nice. Like most of the time when you're on any show, you're just treated as a guest. It's like you should be grateful to be here. Like whether it's cable news, podcast, whatever. And I just like coming from a background of having been a talk radio producer and a lover of radio that then moved into podcasting and media and all that stuff. Like just treat guests nice, man. Like
Yeah.
just treat them nicely. But producers can sometimes have as much of a stick up their butt as the anchors or the hosts.
I never
do.
understood that, why you can't just be nice. The first TV thing I ever did, like as an actor, was on Dave's World. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This was a Harry Anderson show, God rest his soul. And I knew nothing, right? So I would sit in the bleachers where the audience and the extras would sit just so I could watch and soak in what's going on. I didn't know anything. And I'm just watching this, and all of a sudden some woman comes up, and I was talking to some of the extras, became friendly with one of them just over the course of the day or two. And she's like, "Background, let's go," like super like snippy to them.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, I'll talk to you later, man." And I'm sitting, she's like, "Let's go." And I was like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, you know what? If you were nice to everybody,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have been awkward.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
why was that? Why?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Just be nice to
Everybody's
everybody.
A person. Like, it's just
I
weird.
agree, but
It's-
there's so many people that try to grab a little dominion over somebody where they can, but they're so used to eating shit all day
Yeah, I
that they
guess.
look at it.
It's like
sort
the
of a-
bullied kid bullies.
Right.
Like the kid that is bullied.
They did it to me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
My
a
turn.
weird. It's kind of a weird thing. It's a kid's version of being rich. Like if I were rich, well, it's actually not. It's not even a kid's version. If I were rich, I'd drive a golden Cadillac and give money to strangers. Like so they go. If I was in power, this is
Right.
how. All right, Alicia Krause, you have some news. Home title lock. All right, listen up. This isn't some far off scam. This is happening right now. If you own a home, you need to hear this. In today's world, scammers are using AI to fake documents to steal home titles. One forged signature, a phony notary stamp, and suddenly your house isn't yours anymore. They can drain your equity, even sell your place out from under you. When's the last time you checked your home's title? Yeah, that's what I thought. Never. That's why I'm telling you about Home Title Lock. Use my promo code ADAM at HometitleLock.com. Get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. They'll monitor your title 24/7, send you urgent alerts if anything changes, and if fraud happens, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your home and your equity today, like I did. Home Title Lock. Do it now, right, Dawson?
Go to HometitleLock.com and use promo code Adam. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Adam.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah, that's the jingle. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. So, I don't know, modern cars. Some people don't wrench on modern cars, but a lot of you have a project. And a lot of you have older cars you drive, and you want to keep on the road because cars are expensive these days. Well, that's where O'Reilly Auto Parts comes in. Friendly, helpful service, and the parts knowledge you need for the maintenance and repair of your vehicle. I've always used these guys. I've used them in all my old pickup trucks and even my old Isuzu Trooper to some of my Z cars and other Datsuns, race cars too. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
We're going to start with this insane story of talking about like needing to be nice. This is not so nice. Rampage Jackson's son, Raja, is currently under investigation. This is from Vibe for a ruthless attack at an LA wrestling event. And it's kind of insane. I'll just give you guys a little bit of background here. Apparently, Douglas Mallow assisted one of the wrestlers at this kind of Knox Pro Wrestling Academy event. So it wasn't WWE, it wasn't AWE. Even though they both had events over the weekend, it was here in LA, and it was the son of former UFC fighter Quentin Rampage Jackson, and he's under investigation now for what happened. Apparently, fans quickly learned that Jackson's involvement was scripted as the story made its rounds on the internet, but it was revealed that he was not supposed to take things as far as he did. I'm not a big like fight night person. My husband and some friends gathered together to have it, but this is blowing up like all of the internet, all of Instagram, all of like X, every TikTok, everybody.
Is the guy he beat? Is he alive?
He's alive. He's apparently okay. He has released. Psycho Stu has said that his health is remaining a priority and like don't donate to any GoFundMes, which I actually appreciate him saying that. I think it's nice. He said, we have not set up a GoFundMe. He said, thank you everybody for your prayers and concerns. I think he had a slight concussion. He's missing lots of teeth. He's currently stable, but in critical care.
Oh, good Lord.
And like Quentin, like Rampage released a statement kind of saying that his son was an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler, and had no business being involved in an event like this. And apparently Psycho Stu hit him off camera, and Raja was unexpectedly, this is from Rampage, quote, Raja was unexpectedly hit in the side of the head by him moments before Smith's match, and Raja was told that he could, quote unquote, get his payback in the ring.
Well, according to what I've seen, and it just lit up the internet. I mean, I don't know why, or I don't know what the internet thinks I'm watching, but I never stop popping up on my feed. So the guy slammed a aluminum beer can, like a full beer, and cracked him backstage in the skull. Any
reason for that?
Just to be fair. It was like tough guy, white guy, tough guy, black guy, and we're getting all the Rajas and his nicknames and everything. It's just the black guy beat up the white guy. But the white guy started by smacking the can. I'm not making a racial thing. I'm trying to just go, I don't remember everyone's handle and everyone's son's name.
Were they talking smack backstage or anything?
He sort of got in his grill and he sort of went, like he was kind of big timing him a little bit. And he was kind of like, here's what we do. And he took a beer and he slammed it in his head.
Ow.
But it was kind of like a wrestling move. Like, here's what you would do. It looked pretty good. Like the equivalent of hitting someone with a folding chair. Like, it's like there's a way to do it
where it doesn't hurt.
You don't cause bleeding.
It's a part of the show, kind of.
Yeah, so he did it to him, but he was backstage. Like, probably didn't need to do it to him. So then black guy got mad. And then at some point, white guy who hit him with the can, came over and apologized and said, sorry, I was out of line or whatever. So they thought they made up. But black guy was not, that did not do it for him, even though the guy did apologize.
Yeah.
So then he picked him up and he slammed him, and then he just sort of did a ground and pound
Have
while
you
the
seen
guy
this video?
passed out.
I haven't seen it.
I only watched the first half, and I don't know that I can watch the whole
fact that
thing.
there are two halves is bad.
He slammed him, but
It's intense.
there is a thing where, whether it's in the ring or on the street, at a certain point when the person is lying motionless,
You should
and
stop.
you should stop pounding them in the face, and then you
Are police going to press
Well, even
charges?
MMA,
Yes.
if a guy comes in and goes, that's enough, he's out.
Yeah. No, and this is worse, obviously, than MMA.
We should watch it.
All right. Now, there's always he picks him up, and he slams him, and then he just starts beating him. But the ref doesn't know what to do. And it's bad. But there's also a part where, first off, the ref's got to jump in, number one. Number two, there's a part where you get pulled away and you still keep punching, which is kind of weird and fucked up. But also...
Did the ref think that was part of it?
Well,
No.
apparently it was a part of the script that the guy would go down. But the continual
The
beating,
ref-
like,
Yeah,
did
no,
a
that's
tooth
crazy.
fly? Like, did I see a literal tooth?
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see
that's
it. The ref should have jumped in.
No, that guy needs to go to jail. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
But
You
so
can't do
here's
that.
the...
You can kill a guy doing
What?
that.
But here's the
insane.
weird thing. So then I was watching, as I was thinking about it, like, I don't know who these people are where like a switch gets thrown. 'Cause I've seen it. You see it on the streets. You've seen it in the hallways of a school where some guy's just trying to kill a janitor or something. It's like, how far does this go back? And what is this? And like, what's the part where you're trying to kill them? And it's always, for me, the poignant part is when someone tries to pull them off. Mm-hmm. And you'll see them get pulled off and try to kick the guy as they're being pulled off. And I'm like, you guys just met.
The
Like,
issues,
how's this?
the huge issues.
But here's what it made me think of. I hearkened back to this. When I was doing the Man Show, I went and tried out for the Hawthorne SWAT team. And I went out there and I fired all the guns and I did all this stuff and they tased me. And it was a Man Show bit. Adam goes and tries out, comedy ensues.
Did you pass?
Yeah, it was funny bit. I fired all the different guns and got attacked by the police dog, and I did everything.
Thing on the arm and the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, more like me, but not in my arm. But I did the whole thing. I said, "Tase me, do everything," and they did, and I did it. But when I was going to be attacked by the police dog, I was thinking back on this.
Right.
First off, the police dog handler guy's scarier than the dog. That guy's
Right.
scary, right? Because he can't even handle a partner. He's got a dog, He's a big, scary guy. And we're at a park near the Hawthorne police where they do their training or whatever. It's got a fence around it. And I guess we'd pulled a permit, and there wasn't anyone there but us, And so I remember getting in the outfit, the vest and the padded thing with the stuff, helmet and everything. And the guy, fuck, this is my whole life. I go, look. He goes, you're going to take off running. I go, yeah. And then he's going to go, I'm going to wait a minute, a few seconds, and I'm going to let the dog go. And then the dog's going to take you down. And I said, okay, I'll do this. And he goes, okay. And I go, I noticed we don't have any gloves or anything. It's just kind of my bare hands. When I'm running, is he going to come up and grab a hand?
No.
And the guy goes, yeah, okay, hold your hands up. I go, okay, but I feel like that's something you should.
Yeah. Oh,
you should tell me.
Oh, by the way,
to do.
yeah.
But all right,
Like when I signed my life away
Right.
about
So
not
he goes,
suing you. You
hold
should
your
give me
hand
the
up,
safety
right?
chat.
And so the director goes, the way the park was, there was a big kind of opening where it was bright, and then there was a lot of trees and shade, and it was kind of dark. And so I'd run like 30 feet into this big open area that was bright from the sun, and then the dog would take me down, and that would be the best way to shoot it. And then after that, I was kind of heading toward the shadows. So I said to the guy, look, I'm going to take off running, but don't hold the dog too long because I don't want to run out of the light and have him take me down all the way down because I don't want to do this again. That's what I said. I'm going to do it once.
take.
I don't want to run with my hands
One
up.
take.
So
on
let me
this,
just
yeah.
run. Let me just run.
Yeah.
And don't hold the dog too long because I can run pretty fast and I'll be running and I'll let him go when I get about 20 feet away and then he'll catch me right when I get into the light. And then he goes, oh, this dog's fast. And I go, I get it, but I'm still running and you give me a head start and it's going to take him a beat to catch up to me because I'm running and he's faster than I am, but I'm still ahead. He's going to, don't hold him too long. Just let him go. When I get going, I get 20 feet, let him go and we'll go right into the light. He goes, okay. I go, okay. So I go, ready? I go, we're not doing this again, so let's do it.
You thought you had a gentleman's agreement.
Yes. And they said, action. And I just took off running. And I take off running, and I go into the light area, and I go, okay, here comes the dog, here comes the dog. And now I'm in the middle of the light area, and there's no dog, and I'm now out of the light area. And now I'm all the way at the fucking end of the park, and I literally start to slow down and turn around and go, is there a problem with the camera? And as I turn around, the dog hits me. Because, of course, he had to do what I told him not to do. I go, don't let him go late. If anything, let him go early.
Where did he get you?
He hit me in the chest or whatever. The point is the cameras were so far out, right? Of course, he let him go late. Again,
was that for his own amusement? Did he?
What I realized, like, element of surprise or something.
No, when I say to people, "There's a pothole coming up. Slow down. You're going to hit the pot." We now hit the pothole because I brought up the pothole. Like I just went. Let him go early. We'll go into the light, and the camera will be closer because the camera's on sticks. Like it's not. They're not chasing me. Anyway.
If you did that bit nowadays, like the camera would be on a drone, and he probably would have let you run a mile.
The dog would be AI anyway. You don't need to worry about it.
So what happened was I said to the guy, and this is getting back to Rampage Jackson's kid, and a lot of people I see fighting in the streets and stuff, and a lot in the African American community too, which is I don't know what's going on where all this. It's a switch, and I said to the guy, okay, once the dog hits me and takes me down. What do you do? Blow a whistle or something? Or like, how does the dog know to get off of me once I'm on the ground and he's trying to kill me? And he goes, well, they don't really listen. Once they're going, they're going. And he just said to me, he goes, it's a switch. It's a switch that gets thrown. And I said, all right, so how do we unthrow this switch? He goes, I kick him in the ribs as hard as I can. And I pull him off
insane.
you. Yeah. And I said, well, another good reason not to let me get that far away before you let the dog go.
How slow is that guy running?
Well, it's a switch. And when I saw Raja Jackson on top of that guy, I was like, oh, the switch has been thrown.
But isn't it weird that the switch was thrown like technically 20 minutes before backstage and he didn't settle?
Yeah, but that's
like
not.
He didn't do what I told him.
It's like if he agreed, oh yeah, we're fine, and then pulls that kind of crap.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
Is that what the prosecutor is going to say at his trial? Like,
it's not the switch. That was the fuse being lit. The switch is when the punches start and they just can't stop.
It's like
and
Rambo.
The person
First
is
Blood. You don't want to throw this switch.
The person is lifeless on the ground, and you're not. Remember that?
Do you think
incident?
he likes that feeling? Like, I've never punched somebody. I've
no,
a couple guys
there's
in
no
the balls,
feeling.
But even
like,
MMA guys I've seen have stopped. You know,
it's not a feeling. I think it's like the dog. The switch is thrown. He doesn't know what he's doing. There's a guy trying to pull him off, and he's still trying to throw punches.
Yeah, he just.
This guy pulling him off, and he's trying to get a 23rd punch in. That's a weird animal switch. That's all that is.
Well,
it's not,
he
he's
can
not
clearly
thinking
defend
about
himself when he goes to jail.
He's not thinking about anything
like
at that point. Is what I'm saying. Look,
it's a pile of crazy town.
Remember that teenage black girl who got shot by the cop because a fight had broken out. This is like 4 years ago, and it like spilled out in the street, and she was about to stab that other girl, and then the cop shot her.
And then people were like, "Oh, it was so bad."
LeBron James was very upset. You know that. Well, hey, LeBron.
She was about to stab another black girl.
Yes, a 17-year-old black girl got shot by a white cop, but she was about to gore another black girl. Like, oh, shut up, LeBron James. It's just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? What's the cop? So,
what about saving the other black person? Like, why does race have to do with that? You
because he's LeBron and he's a hustler. But the point is in that situation, the cop rolled up, like yelled halt, pulled his gun out, did everything. And if you watch that tape, it's kind of crazy. There's a black guy who like punched another black guy, or maybe it was a woman, and she was like on the ground as the cop was running toward them with his gun drawn. And the guy kicked him in the face one more time, like in front of the cop. And then the cop ran past that guy, and the chick with the steak knife was about to. So the whole point is police, gun, siren, right? The switch was thrown. Yeah, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if a guy with a gun and a badge is behind me. I'm focused on this chick in front of me who like disrespected me or something, and the switch has been thrown.
Yeah, you're not when you're in rage mode. There's nothing you can. There's no talk. It's like you can't.
Oh no,
with
rage
crazy.
mode will work on you.
Yeah,
I would understand rage mode if a guy had a gun and yelled halt. I would stop.
I guess like if I get pissed off, if I have road rage, if something happens to me, if somebody offends me, like obviously difference between the hormones between men and women and all that stuff. But if something happened backstage. And then I have 20 minutes to cool down before I have to go act out something because we know that this was scripted. Why the hell didn't he like calm down between point A and point B?
I think you need somebody. I remember once I was pissed off about about an event coming up, and somebody who was not involved with entertainment at all was trying to make these decisions. I remember my dad goes, "So let me just try to understand. You're pissed off because someone who knows nothing about entertainment is telling you about." I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm the fucking idiot here, like not this person. Like I'm letting this person get under my skin when they know nothing about comedy, show business. That this is insane. Like I'm the one with the problem.
So is his dad's defense of him then accurate that he's a WWE fighter and shouldn't have been doing, or he right?
Good luck with that video.
No.
I don't know. I mean,
that's not going to work.
Yeah, I would doubt it.
Yeah, his dad. Sorry, he's an MMA fighter and not a pro wrestler, and had no business being involved in an event like this.
Well,
it sounds like he's trying to pass the buck onto the event.
Some of that, was, that's an argument you can make. It's pretty dubious, but all right, he doesn't have that experience.
It shouldn't work.
He's still.
Based on that.
We have video of 30 punches thrown to a guy who was, by the way, knocked unconscious when his head hit the canvas in the first place. So he never put his arms up or did anything. All right. What's the next story, sir?
Speaking of arms up, how much can y'all bench press?
Oh, God. Nothing anymore. 240 when I was in high school or something when I played football.
I can do a little over my weight. I'm not bad.
When you were 33, though, what do you think you could bench press?
Well, let's see, if you put two regular sized plates on there, it'd be 45, and then the bar was 45.
That's 135.
Right. And nobody should have ever had any issue with that. Like nobody would have any issue with doing reps.
Well, no man. Women.
No man.
Not,
man of mine would have any issue. No, you might put on two plates and then two 10-pound plates, and then you do sets or something like that, or two 25 pounds.
I could do 185 before I had my wrist like that with that amount. 185. I could do 10 reps of that. That was like the most. I've never tried to max out before.
You guys should run as Democratic Socialists for mayor of New York City because.
Oh, I saw this. Didn't he need help with it or something?
He needed help. Mayoral frontrunner. Oh dear God, help New York. Zoran Mamdani struggled to execute a single unassisted bench press rep while attending a Men's Day open streets event in Brooklyn on Saturday over the weekend. This is another thing that was great on social media. He was called Mom Scrawny.
Yeah.
Apparently, he said that he was going to do it 135 pounds, so the 45, and then like the bar, I guess, which I didn't even realize that a bar weighed 45 pounds. I don't think I could bench press 45 pounds.
Well, if it's up to him, the government will bench press for you.
That's right. That's right. We'll sue Big Bar.
Yeah. So apparently, he said he was a part of this event, and we have video of it. This video is just crazy. I mean,
to be fair to the Zoran or whatever.
Zoran.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of that Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, Zohan. Don't mess with the Zohan. I think.
Yeah,
Zohan,
right. To be fair to him, for some reason, his spotter just never let go. He just seemed to be.
He's literally holding it for him.
I get it. All right, well, let's watch. I'm just saying, like.
He does it like 3 times.
This is how you move up in the pole. This is how you move up in the pole.
Is it?
By the way, who are all these fucking people? I mean, who are these people?
How you move up in the pole.
Yeah, right. Here's how you get nothing from a guy.
What does Kennedy bench? He could.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll do like a Miata.
Yeah.
I don't know why are we filming this? Like, well, who is this guy? What do we care?
Because he's a social media like darling.
Yeah. Let's go.
I get it, but the other guy's just literally doing it for him.
Let me get 3.
No, he did 2.
Let me get 3.
All right, but
did 2.
He's very proud of himself. But
that's sad.
Oh, but you know what's the best part is though?
I don't want to defend this guy, but I would look. I don't like to talk about riding a unicycle, but I know how to ride a unicycle. if I said to someone like, hey, we're going to do this photo op, they said, we're going to do a photo op, and then you're going to ride the unicycle and impress everybody. I'd go, okay. And then he'd go, I'm going to hold your hand the entire time you ride the unicycle. I'd go, don't do it. And they'd go, why? I don't want you to. I go, because then they won't think I can ride a unicycle. I'm just hanging on to you. And so I would tell the fucking retard who was doing the bench press spotter,
Like, let go.
how about you let him try?
Yeah.
Here's how spotting works.
But he seemed pretty happy to leave after 2
Oh,
assisted.
2. And that
I
guy's
know.
like gripping it
No,
from.
he's still a pussy and a communist and an asshole
So-
that's going to
Yeah.
destroy everything. Don't get me, and a weakling. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying to the spotter,
Give him a chance.
let him try to push it up.
I think the spotter knew he couldn't,
Yeah,
and
and
that
that's
he was
gonna
like,
look
"Well, I
worse.
don't want this on
That's gonna look
video,
bad.
and then I go to jail
Yeah,
because I
you
let a
go to
bar
jail.
fall
Blame
on
him.
so
You
wrong."
couldn't. You're supposed to help him.
Exactly.
Moron.
But
Yeah.
first off, hold on a
Yeah.
second. Any able-bodied man in his 30s who is of average size, you would assume can do 135.
Yeah, you're supposed to do your weight or a little more. That should be normal. That's
Right. So he's 170 pounds. So 130 and 135 is like anybody, any
You should be
male.
able to bench press moi.
Any male can do
Yes.
it. Right. That's right. So
if you exercise normally, yeah.
right. So the guy should have assumed he could do it because it's not a spot worthy amount.
It'll come out in a few weeks. It was really 220. You know.
Oh gosh!
Don't
So
worry.
you know what else came out? Apparently, the boots that he was wearing in that video are like close to $1,000 designer boots. And also at that same Men's Day event, he went to like kick a soccer ball, but had to slip off his boots to do so.
Of
It's
course.
gonna look. It's all. First off, this stuff never goes any other direction. You know, his parents are wealthy. His mom's a big
Of course.
producer. His
Everybody
dad,
for socialism is loaded.
right. He just had a wedding with security and $1 million
He's
mansion.
accepting money from billionaires while saying that they shouldn't exist.
Right. But here's the real question. The real question, whether, and I'm now saying this more and more, and I'm now turning on the citizens, which is Bernie Sanders has his thoughts, and there was a bunch of COVID thoughts, and there was a bunch of Black Lives Matter thoughts, and now there's Zohan's thoughts and all. It's like, fine, I get what they're doing. What the fuck are you people doing? Why do you support Bernie Sanders? Why? Why did you shut the beaches and not go to the beach on COVID? Why'd you all get down with Black Lives Matter? Like, why are you guys supporting any of this? I'm talking to my fellow citizens. I'm not talking about them. Bernie or Al Gore, they're running a scam.
Yeah,
they're
it's like-
running a grift. Al Gore's getting rich. Why are you funding his shit, you idiots? Why'd you listen to these idiots about COVID? Why'd you listen to any of these people about anything? What are you people doing?
It's, how bad do things have to get? That's always the question. Like, how many times does Gore have to be proven wrong about the climate freaking out stuff? Like, over and over again, they go, you were wrong. Here's the year has come and gone.
Also,
what
how
you
many
said.
mansions
And
can that
it's-
guy own? How many planes can he have before you guys catch on?
Yeah.
Now,
How many
get
massages?
Al Sharpton is just doing what Al Sharpton does.
Yeah.
Black community. Why are you supporting this?
Well,
What's
he's out
up
of a
to
job.
you?
Things are going well.
That's what I'm saying. But
They have
why?
to do this.
Why? At a certain point, we have to talk to the citizens and go, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right. Well,
I get what they're doing.
I think that Eric Adams is kind of doing that. Like he was on MSNBC or
He was at least
something
a
over the
cop,
week.
you know?
And he was at least a cop. And,
You know?
and he was straight up asked, like, I don't know. He was asked over the weekend. He should have said, yes, he is. Whether or not he thought Mamdani was an anti-Semite. And he was like, well, if he isn't, he's in dangerous territory. And I'm like, yes, he is. Just say it. He is.
Take it from the Jew on this panel. Yes,
Yeah.
is the answer.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I do love it. I love all the squad. I love all the Ilhan Omars. I love we're not anti-Semitic. We just exclusively say bad things about Jews.
Yeah, just about.
That's all
I
we do.
always
But
laugh
we're
at-
not, and in no way
Yeah.
do we believe.
Yeah, their easy out is like AIPAC. That says, oh, they give money, and I always feel like no one takes it once. I go, okay, let's play it your way.
Yep.
AIPAC disappears tomorrow. Right? Do you know what would happen? Within 24 hours, you'd have everybody going, you know what? The Arabs have a pack. The Muslims have a pack. The communists have, everybody has a pack. And you cheap Jews won't spend $5 to help a candidate that I guarantee you, that's the narrative that would be framed. That would happen.
Yeah.
So this is absurd. I go, that's the game. Yeah, it'd be great if there were no lobby groups, but there are, and they're just playing the game, and they give less money than these other ones.
Yeah.
But that's the one you focus on, of course, because that's your way to mask your Jew hating. It's easy. It's an easy out, and that's why they do it.
I agree. I'm an atheist. I don't have a Jew in the fight, but they're not. You know what? It's real easy for me. It's a super simple way that I sail through life this way. I go, who's the problem and who's not the problem? Who's the problem and who's not the problem? It's super easy. Hey, that black girl got stabbed but shot by the cop. I go, who's the problem? The cop's not the first off, the cop just showed up. Somebody was stabbing somebody.
Yeah, he's
not the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, it's what makes things. But even I talked about this when I went to Iraq. I didn't expect this. I met this guy who he was in logistics. They have a term, victory through logistics. And he goes, "Oh, Avi, is that what kind of name is that?" I go, "He's like, oh, I've been to Israel 9 times. I did a lot where they were very helpful." I just because it helps American troops too. Like I wouldn't have known that had I not gone. But I was like, that's good for America. Yep. Like it's easy for you to take these stances when you don't know any of this.
But look,
I would
say laugh, as the person that believes in God and is the Christian in the room, like there was just a study that came out that
Big
like
fan, by the way.
Israel is like the only friendly country to like Christians and women and gays in all of the Middle East.
It's not even
part
close.
of the problem.
Exactly.
But I do the same way with taxpayers. Like these fat cats not paying they're paying taxes.
Yeah, they pay more
the
than
other
you.
people don't. The homeless
what?
people don't pay taxes. So I'm not going to include them as the problem. Because they pay the taxes.
Yeah, they pay. Yeah, Thomas Sowell talks about this. He says, you know what happens historically when you raise taxes on the rich? He goes, they just don't pay it. He goes, they move or they structure their finances where they're paying less.
See, California.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Brad Kilgore is waiting out there. He's a pizza expert.
Ooh.
And a lot of thoughts about that. So
Did he bring some?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. We'll take a quick break. Or maybe we'll figure out. Talk to Brad. And we'll get the best. I got thoughts. First things about pizza. I will not feel ashamed of liking a Hawaiian-style pizza. People want me to hang my head in shame.
Oh, Adam.
Well, hold on. First off, it's a pizza, and number one, it has Canadian bacon on it, which is killer.
Which is out for me, obviously.
Sorry, but
screwed.
I like...
Praise the Lord, I can eat it.
I love Canadian bacon, and I like it more than pepperoni. So it has Canadian bacon.
That's allowable.
Then they have added pineapple.
Gross.
See, that's what I don't understand.
But pineapple gets added to many, many, many things historically.
But what does it improve?
Is fine.
What does it improve that you've added to it?
If I barbecue, if I'm doing like, let's say, coleslaw, and you put little pieces of pineapple in there,
tasty.
I enjoy
that.
See? You Jews come.
This
This is why people hate you.
We don't know anything. The Jews keep pineapple.
Pineapple helps things. A pineapple is a helpful food to me. So,
but not with
I like
sauce
it on its
and
own.
cheese.
I'm saying the addition of the pineapple cannot be a disqualifier because pineapple's pieces and parts are added to like barbecue and stuff like that, and it's good.
Marinades.
To me, it's like raisins. Raisins on their own are fine. You put them in stuff, and I'm just like, why?
Sweet and sour chicken. When you get that little piece of pineapple in there,
I'll give you
it's
that.
a delight.
It's not the pineapple and the Canadian bacon that's the problem. It's that they put them on a pizza with like dairy and sauce
sweet
and dough.
It's savory. But the whole thing about here's the whole thing about sweet and sour pork. It's savory, but then you get the sweet in there. Sorry, I'm trying to
so anti-Semitic.
I'm not going to hang my head. I'm not going to apologize. I like it.
You know, you're at tuna-on pizza? I had that in Europe, and I was like, this is actually not bad.
Oh.
Tuna-on pizza?
That's the only place I've ever seen it.
The Democratic senator says that pizza doesn't exist.
It's not, who said that?
What's this? A fat guy. What the? You remember what's his name? Oh, God. The worst.
Shifty Schiff?
No. Who was the guy? Jerry Nadler.
Oh,
Nadler.
They asked Jerry Nadler about QAnon or whatever, or Antifa or whatever, and he just went, "That doesn't exist."
Oh, he said no. He said about Antifa during the BLM riots.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for siding with Antifa, fat idiot. Anyway, I bet he'll eat any kind of pizza. I am. What's the pizza that has the big chunks of mozzarella on it? And
like a margarita pizza.
I'm done with the margarita.
Really?
People order it. I feel they order it default. I feel like they go, "We'll take the margarita," and they go, "The margarita."
If you're hungry and you got,
I don't like it. I'll take the Hawaiian over the margarita. There, I said
really?
it. Say that like Mark Levin would say it.
What, like the Hawaiian pizza?
No, say
You're done with the margarita.
I'm done with the margarita.
You know, these
I'm
people order
taking
margarita pizza.
The Hawaiian. Hold on. I'm
right.
taking the wine,
I need the
and then
whole
you have
context.
to go there. I said it. I don't care. All right.
Well, you know, people order these margarita pizza. I have no problem with margarita pizza. If you look at the history of it, and then you have this Hawaiian. That's right, I said it. Hawaiian pizza. These morons. I said it, morons. You know something else, Mr. Producer? They've never even had the Hawaiian pizza. They know nothing about it. But these idiots.
There you go.
there we go.
But I'm saying it like Mark Levin. I don't care. Get that goddamn margarita pizza out of my face. You guys just order it because you're not creative and you don't know what to order.
They don't know the
getting Hawaiian.
Constitution or the menu.
They don't know it.
Yeah.
I'm ordering the Hawaiian pizza and I'm not apologizing. All right, we'll break. We'll do Brad right after this. Him's hair. Let's be real. Nobody wakes up and thinks, today's the day I start losing my hair. It sneaks up on you. One mirror check, then boom, you're trying to cover that bald spot, and suddenly hats are your new best friend. That's where Hims comes in. Hims gives you fast, easy access to doctor-trusted prescription hair loss treatments. And you don't have to drag yourself to some waiting room, fill out endless forms, or fork over cash for mystery products. Hims is 100% online, simple, private, and tailored to you. Choose oral meds, serums, sprays. They have the full lineup based on what works for you. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, just honest, real care on your schedule. That's right. It works. Right, Dawson?
For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/Adam. That's hims.com/Adam for your free online visit. hims.com/Adam. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Simply Safe. Well, prevention. That's the name of the game now. In the past, they just want to know, hey, what happened? Who stole what? Now we try to stop these thieves before they thieve and get to thieving. So, Simply Safe. It actually stops crime before it starts. Imagine that. A little prevention. Their Active Guard outdoor protection has these AI cameras and real people watching your place. If some creep is lurking, the agents can talk to them, put on the spotlight, even call the cops right then, not after your stuff is gone. No contracts, no hidden fees, none of that nonsense. Over 4 million people trust Simply Safe. So it's not just me. There's 4 million other smart people who believe in Simply Safe. Plans start at about $1 a day. You get 60 days to try it. Money back if you don't like it. It's Simply Safe, right, Dawson?
Head to simplysafe.com/Adam to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this season. Don't wait. This offer won't last long. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man, get it on. Hey, that advice you gave Howie Mandel about getting a warehouse, probably some solid advice for every dude out there that's a homeowner. Every dude can't get an industrial warehouse, but what every dude can strive for is a barn. I tell you what, having a barn and the old lady wants to put some stuff away, you can put it in your 2,500 square foot barn and it just disappears. You guys have a great day. Bye.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Brad Kilgore's in studio. Brad, pull that mic up close to you.
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. So let's talk pizza. And we'll get into it. We'll get a little more granular. First, your background. You start cooking at a diner at 12.
Yep, exactly. Born and raised in Kansas City, so suburbs of KC.
Mm-hmm. And when does pizza in Chicago start coming into your world?
I mean, pizza probably at one point I ate 5-6 days a week, being like a young guy, late night eats. Always loved it. But really, pizza became important when COVID hit and everyone was sitting at home eating frozen food and delivery. And this is
lean up and pull up. Sorry, my guys didn't help you with that. But yeah,
Better?
get up on your mic. Yeah. protocol there. So, what is the best pizza? Who makes the best pizza?
So subjective, right?
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Like Neapolitan pizza is that thin crust that they make all the menu, like order. And when it's right out of the oven, I think that's the best pizza. But within 5 minutes, it's floppy and sloppy. And so you can't get it at your house. You have to be at a restaurant to get
What's the best toppings?
My brothers and I all stem from my oldest brother order something odd, but it's really good. It's like ground beef and jalapeno. And that's our
I'll go
go-to.
with that.
Very
I like sausage and onion.
Yep.
But then the question is, what kind of sausage? Crumbled sausage or discs of sausage?
The discs always seem like super processed to me, like even when I was young. But sometimes the crumbled ones, like you want the artisan crumbled ones. Sometimes it becomes like a paste too, which is a little off-putting.
I think I like the disc, but only the good stuff. I like meatball on a pizza.
Meatball. Well, it's the ground beef.
Oh, it's the ground beef. You're right.
Seasoned.
You're right. Yeah, I went to Mozza once. I was really excited about having a pizza, and their whole thing is we do meatballs as like an appetizer, and then we do pizza. So I go, give me a meatball pizza, and they go, we don't do that. And then I got into the 5 easy pieces ones part where I was like, you have meatballs? Like, yeah. You do pizza? Right. Take the meatball, put it on the pizza. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that.
I could go off on meatballs. I just opened a restaurant where the meatball is the center of the menu.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really big strategically for many reasons, actually. Yep.
I love a meatball.
I love a meatball, but I feel like conceptually they're better than most of the time when you get them. They're usually a little like maybe bouncy and maybe dry or not enough seasoning. And I basically R&D'd my meatball to fix all the things I didn't like about most
What
of
do you do to make a great meatball?
What was important is like everyone's trying to make it brown on the outside. They put it in a oven, or they deep fry it a lot in restaurants, or they saute and you shake the pan to try to get the round sphere browned. During that process, you've basically overcooked your ground beef, and so that's why you get those dry, crumbly ones. So what I do is the opposite. I cook it to the perfect temperature that I want it, so it stays juicy, which is like a little over medium if you're going to do burger temps, and then I put a cheese fondue on top, and I caramelize that with a blowtorch, which gives you that browning that you're like looking for in a meatball. And then we call it the caramelized meatball.
What kind of cheese?
It's Parmesan Reggiano, like into like a fondue, but even more fun, we put in one of those foam guns, so it's like really fancy cheese whiz.
Oh man, God, that sounds amazing. And you do a red sauce with that?
Yeah, just classic red sauce.
I don't know that you can beat the marinara and the red sauce and the meatballs and the spaghetti. I know it's boring childhood Americana stuff, but
that's my deserted island dish.
Yeah, I just can't do worse. I mean, do better, I should say. Where do you come down? No one does this here, but my dad would do it way back in the day when he'd do up the red sauce and the spaghetti and whatever the pasta was, ricotta cheese. He'd weave in some ricotta.
Right.
Which is sort of, you don't need it, but when you get exposed to it, you kind of go, oh, okay, this is good.
It doesn't bring a whole lot to the table, but that like milky, which can be really creamy and delicious. So
yes.
And I like, as much as I like a tomato sauce, I also like a vodka sauce that has a little bit of cream in it. And it's kind of the same idea.
I'll tell you what is, man, I want Italian food now. Puttanesca sauce has snuck up on me recently, and it's good, man. Like people like the red sauce and I like the vodka sauce. Yeah. But the puttanesca with the olives in it, that can be really good.
You like these little elements of twang you were talking about, like pineapple.
Yeah, earlier, it's got a little punch, a little zest in it.
There's capers in there. There's a little bit of chili flake. Yeah. You know the backstory? You know what a puttanesca is?
I mean, it's like whore or something?
Yeah, so that was the dish they would make you in the whorehouse after you worked up an appetite.
It's good, man. Yeah. Whorehouse or not. All right, so you are doing pizza. And so where'd you cut your teeth with pizza? Is that in Chicago?
I actually never worked at a pizza restaurant per se. I did work at Little Caesars before I went on my fine dining. I'm a chef by trade, and so I've got restaurants on both coasts, and domestic and internationally. But pizza's like frozen pizza's my passion project, if you will, right now.
You have any restaurants in Los Angeles?
San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Has now you seem counter to this, but I'm going to try, and I hope I don't offend you. But I started noticing probably in the early 2000s that people were doing their own thing with food. Like I would go, I want huevos rancheros, and then they'd give you a breakfast burrito, and then I'd go, that's not huevos rancheros. I go, that's how we do it.
Like
You know?
reconstructed?
Yeah, we've reconstructed and I go, but I'm ordering huevos rancheros, and then I would order a club sandwich, and it would come on brioche bun, and I'd go, I want a club sandwich, and they go, this is our club sandwich, and I was like, stop it, stop it. You make your own sandwich, but don't call it this,
call it that.
and stop saying that. And then somebody told me all that shit was out of San Francisco. Like they started fucking everything up, and don't get me started on passion fruit iced tea. So now, have they come around? Are we getting back? Is it a MAGA thing? Is it a thing where like we're getting back to the nuts and the bolts of food, and we're not outthinking ourselves anymore?
I think a lot of things are doing that.
Yes.
And I'm known as a creative chef, but in the heart of my food, they're all like versions of classics. Because the classic, like you're saying, the tomato sauce with a little bit of cheese on pasta, it's hard to beat that.
Yes.
And I have that sentiment. I have that palate also. So when you close your eyes and eat something off my menus, I want you to recognize it, but still be a little new.
Right. So the pizza. Now I grew up. I don't know. Mama Celeste was probably who made the frozen pizzas back in the day, and they weren't very good, but the one they sold the most, they may have sold the most of. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Stouffer's sold a frozen French bread, whatever, which was just nothing but a log of French bread with some red sauce on it.
Melted cheese.
And everybody ate those. I don't think anyone enjoyed
They
them.
were like rectangular.
They were like
shaped.
bricks. Yeah. And you just did it because you were stoned or whatever. Nobody cared. Also, when I grew up, there was a chasm between frozen food and fresh food, and we knew it. It was like, you're eating frozen food. What do you expect?
It's lower quality.
Right. But now we've made...
Yeah, packaging is way better. Blast chilling. We blast chill ours from the fresh bake down to -40 in a very fast process, so it keeps the integrity.
So, like, comes out of the oven.
Yep.
And do you wait for it to cool down room temp, or do you blast freeze it when it's still hot out of the oven?
The machineries are so smart, they can control humidity while they're cooling it down. So they're basically pulling atmospheric humidity out and then bringing it down, which causes the bread to stay true.
Right. All right. I should sample this.
Sure.
Right? What'd you bring?
All right. So this is Pizza Freak, our company, Pizza Freako. I got you a corner slice because the edge, that cheesy edge, we have a frame that we designed. It catches onto the cheese, and that's called a Freako in Italian.
And what's on this pizza?
This is just our classic cheese.
Our classic
free
cheese.
cheese blend.
And is this a sort of Chicago style, like a deeper dish?
It's a little bit like what they call a nona or a Sicilian, but it would be in between that and Detroit. Detroit's are a little heavier, but you can see like the big air bubbles. It's because we make a sourdough. It's like a real bread. And
that is good.
Thank you.
And where do you do your flour? Because all this talk about European flour and American flour and GMOs and
We use the same exact high-quality brand I use in my restaurants. It's called King Arthur. I worked at a 3 Michelin-star restaurant. We use the same brand. And it's just good stuff. It's American.
And did so you do, first of all, you do like medium and large and whatever, or is it just kind of one size?
This is one size. We have 3 times right now. We've got a white pie where it's white sauce like Alfredo. This is our 3 cheese, so classic red sauce. And then it's made in Philadelphia where my partner and I created it. And they're known to love tomato pie, with no cheese on top. It's just tomato, olive oil, a little bit of oregano. So those are our 3 SKUs, if you will.
And it doesn't taste frozen at all. It tastes fresh. You brought an air fryer here.
Yeah.
Is that the best way to heat this pizza up?
Yes, anything you have at the home. That's why it works, because you take it frozen out of the freezer into whatever you have at your house.
Right.
Yeah.
So air fryer, work oven, whatever.
Or the regular house oven you have.
Now I got to bite the side part to get the get the baked stuff on there. So,
And we have restaurants selling it now, breweries. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Selling it not to take home, but
As a restaurant, like on a menu. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's been helpful to the industry because it's a restaurant quality product that, maybe a non-chef can throw into an oven. Mm-hmm. And then we're in about 24 grocery stores and growing in the retail.
So what does it retail for?
$16 to $18.
Depending on like the toppings or
Yeah. Some retailers have their own price.
So that's, very reasonable. Who's selling the most frozen pizzas right now?
We see our competitors, if you will, and of course we're not a DiGiorno style brand or anything. But most of the stores we're in, the number one are Rayo's, that famous restaurant out of Harlem that has a bunch of food products now, and another one I think Ann's. A lot of them were in like artisan grocery stores, so they go for more artisanal products. But we just got a report that we are number one in sales for this whole chain that we're being sold through in half a dozen of their stores. So it's pretty cool.
And at some point, you expand it out into different styles, and like I always like a New York slice. I like the thin crust pizza. This is really good because you use really good flour and like you know what you're doing and stuff. I would tell people all the time, and then I would actually argue with people all the time, which I would say, look, they'd go like, we got to order a bunch of pizza for the crew and it's late, and Domino's or Pizza Hut or whatever, they go, Domino's is the only place that's open or delivers or whatever it is. And I would always tell them, get thin crust. Right. And they'd go, oh, people don't want thin crust. I go, listen to me. The sauce is the sauce. The cheese is the cheese. They're not going to fuck it up that badly, but the crust is where they fuck up. And so just get thin crust and eliminate as much crust as you can. By the way, when people would order thin crust from Domino's, they'd eat it and they'd go, oh, that's pretty good. Like it wasn't bad. So I'd go, just get the thin crust.
I've been one of those guys before too, because I ordered the pan pizza and I like Domino's though. I mean, I grew up eating Papa John's, with their garlic butter sauce. And
so is there a thin crust in the future, or does that work with what you're doing?
Probably not. Everyone else is doing that. And we feel like we just want to drive in this direction where it's a lot lighter than it looks too. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a doughy.
Yes. No, you're not chewing on it a lot. And it's, 14 inches by 14 inches or something like
14 by 10, exactly.
Oh, 14 by 10.
Yep.
I got good eyeballs.
And so, you can feed a family with it, right? And that's the idea behind it, is that it's filling enough for you to sit down with your family, and just like a full-size pizza at the grocery store would be.
Yeah, and avoid the junk that's in a lot of pizzas.
The only thing in our food is something that we say. You read the ingredients, all 7 of them. Every one of these ingredients are made in America. So we take the pride, our sourcing.
And so with the flash freezing, I mean, it can just go anywhere and taste like it just came from
Philadelphia.
Right. Now, you bake it. You bake it when it's frozen.
Yep.
Right? It sits in an oven at 350 for how long?
Exactly. 350, 20 to 22 minutes.
And would it be a shit show if you tried to use a microwave on it?
Cannot microwave something you want to have any crispy element to it. It's just not how that works.
So fire up the oven, preheat the oven, go get the frozen pie. Don't even do it. Just put it in frozen.
I didn't preheat.
Put it at 350 for 20, 25 minutes, and there we have it.
Yeah.
And your restaurant, what's the condition of restaurants right now? Like how are we doing? There's a couple. It's because it's like you hear about, well, this guy's closing and that guy's closing, and then you hear about this other place and there's a line going around the block. So what is it?
Been doing it since I was 10 or 12. Right. Been managing, owning for half of that time. It's very difficult. And the status of the restaurants right now is that there's a lot of really good restaurateurs and chefs that have lost restaurants recently, are on the cusp. I mean, operation costs are crazy, and you know, you get 100 points, right? 100%, and if you start going up because your chemicals are going up and costs are going up, like labor, etc. There's not much left at the end. It's not about shoveling cash in your pocket. It's about making it to the next payroll, right? In Miami specifically, there's been some pretty ups and downs post-COVID. A huge rush of people that came because, you know, it was open after COVID or whatever. And a lot of people went back home. And then in that 3-year window, everybody saw gold in their eyes and opened up a restaurant or a business of sorts. And now things have settled. There's just literally too many seats.
Is help hard to find these days?
I don't think it's any different. In general, I don't think people are as passionate about, you know, their job. It's a little bit more
in general.
It's more transactional than it ever has been.
No, it's some asshole coined the phrase work-life balance, and everyone went, "Yeah, I got to get into that." And I'm like, not when you're 26.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be working and thinking about
hopefully
busting your hump.
You
and
like
then
what
later
you do a little
on,
bit.
you can think about the balance.
And that's not my industry. I think that's just work in general that's like that. But also, you know, some of these internet jobs where people don't really go through blood, sweat, and tears, and they hit a jackpot and they tell everyone about it on their Instagram reel, and everybody wants to get a piece of that too.
Right.
So I think it's every industry is getting that same issue. I'm lucky enough, a lot of the people that come to work with me are passionate, and that's why they applied to work with me in the first place. So I'm surrounded by a lot of great people.
Can't stop eating this pizza.
Cool. Thank you.
I don't like, well, I'm not traditionally a fan of thick crust.
Right.
But I've probably not had this good a thick crust before. And then the crust is airy. It's not heavy. And it's thick if you throw a tape measure on it, but it's not thick in terms of its taste.
Nailed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
14 by 10. What is, again, there's no right and there's no wrong here. Pizza toppings. I feel olives are underrated. I like black olives on a pizza. I don't know why. It don't even taste like that much, but it's just something good about it.
Listen, I think I know I would love to cook for you one of these days because every time you mention it, it's something I kind of like call the kicker. It's that pop, it's that zing. And a lot of that comes from like ferment. Like those olives have sat there in salt water and kind of like fermented into this zippy puttanesca full of capers and olives that give you that pop. And I like to play with that and cook like that. I also like bacon on my pizza. It's a slept-on component, but that smokiness goes really well.
Well, I'm going to say this about bacon, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I never thought when I was like 14 I would ever say the statement, I think we have enough bacon and we have enough porn.
Like on everything?
I just feel like I feel like I can go, I'm literally burnt out on bacon, which is bacon was a novelty and kind of a treat and kind of weird to find. It wasn't everywhere all the time. And it just started showing up.
Do you remember the Brussels sprouts and bacon on every menu?
Right.
It was during that same time where everyone was reconstructing things.
Right. And I was like, look, bacon is awesome. Bacon is almost an apology food, which is, they would say like, you like calf's liver? And I'd go, no. And they go, what if I took a piece of bacon and wrapped it around? And it's like, well, now, but it's the bacon I like. It's the bacon is helping me get the calf's liver down. But bacon was there to help out because people didn't want Brussels sprouts. So then they started putting bacon on Brussels sprouts.
For
and then
hundreds of years, bacon never made it off the breakfast table.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was in all of it.
And I got to a point where it's like, you want the barbecue burger? We take 3 pieces of bacon. I'm like, I don't want any. I
barbecue
just want,
burgers,
I want a hamburger.
I'm from Kansas City, born and raised. I love barbecue. But putting like 4 ounces of sweet barbecue sauce on my burger and cheddar, like, get out of here. It's disgusting. It's never worked for me.
Kansas City, ever have the Z-Man sandwich?
The Z-Man is the sandwich.
That is the sandwich.
Yes. Kansas City Joe's, now coined as Kansas City Joe's. It previously was Oklahoma Joe's.
Oh, yeah, the Z-Man, stop me if I'm wrong, but it's like literally built into the side of a gas station or something.
My
right?
dad grew up 4 blocks from there. That's in
really?
Mission. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so that's part of my family's history.
What is on the Z-Man sandwich? Now, just so you people know, when you're a comedian and you tour the country, you go to wherever place you go to, and then you go, what do they got here? Permanentes. Oh, I've been hearing about Permanentes in Pittsburgh my whole life.
Right.
You know what I mean? All right, we're going to Permanentes.
Yeah.
Because the show's at night. Go to Permanentes. We're going to get the Z-Man. We're in KC.
When I land, I drive straight there every
Straight
time
down.
when I go back home.
When when we're in Detroit, we're gonna go to whatever dog in downtown, and try the hot dog, which I recommend. Try what they do.
What's
over
your
there.
answer to that here in LA? Like if I asked you,
It's so ubiquitous and fucked out now, but you would traditionally go In-N-Out Burger.
yeah,
And
which works.
which works. And then there's people that like Pink's hot dogs.
That's what I thought you might have said.
But I've never been to Pink's hot dogs, so I don't know. But I definitely go for Carney's hot dogs.
All right.
Because Carney's, there's 2 ways you can do a dog. You can do the skinless ones and the ones that are, I like casing poached with a snap when I bite it. So I go Chicagoan style.
Chicago style, yeah.
Chicago style with the snap and the rush of the juice with the casing.
I don't know what the name of that pepper is on the Chicago dog. And
I don't know it either.
I don't know if it has an use on anything else but Chicago dogs.
But Z-Man, what is on a Z-Man?
It's their overnight brisket. It's provolone cheese and then crispy onion rings on a toasted garlic bread bun. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, they can't go wrong with
And their
Z-Man.
sauce is called Night of the Living Sauce. A little bit spice to it. I mean, you can get it shipped to your house now.
The Z-Man.
Yeah.
Is it going to hold up like your pizza?
It's not the same when you eat at the restaurant. And I would say my pizza and it both ship well because I've ordered it.
You've ordered Z-Man?
I send it as gifts. You can send the barbecue, a box to somebody you owe a favor.
Does it show up as a whole sandwich?
No, it's like deconstructed.
You then assemble it yourself.
Yeah. They like vacuum the brisket up.
It's good. Yeah. All right, well, let me give you a plug. Pizza Freak Co., right?
Yeah.
Frozen pizza, shipped to your door. PizzaFreakCo.com. It's good, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
It is good. It's hard. It's hard to talk and stare at this stuff at the same time. All right, you can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. I'm going to be in Provo, Utah, doing some dry bar shows this Friday. And then it's off to Torrance, and then it's off to Charlotte, North Carolina, and El Paso. Just go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Brad, we got frozen pizza, shipped right to your door. Pizza Freak Co. is where you go for that. Alicia Krause, she's got her column out on the Washington Examiner, and Avi Liberman. Stranger Gigs is the name of the book. Until next time, this is Adam Carolla saying mahalo.